Westervelt, and she's doing an illustrative talk on Thomas Jefferson. And I will ask you to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Madeline Westervelt, and today I'm going to talk about Thomas Jefferson, my favorite president since I was 6 years old. I first read about Jefferson in a book about his culinary interests, especially macaroni and cheese. As I got older, I found out even more interesting things about him. My favorite quote by him is, "I hold that a little rebellion now and then is a good thing, and is necessary in the political world as it storms in the physical." Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13, 1743. His father was Peter Jefferson, and his mother was Jane Randolph Jefferson. His father made the first map of Virginia for King George. His earliest memory was riding on a horse when he was 3 years old. He had a happy childhood filled with books until his father passed away when he was 14 years old. He then became head of the household. This is the Virginia Natural Bridge, where he would often visit as a child. Jefferson was able to study law at the College of William and Mary. He practiced law, served in local government as a magistrate, county lieutenant, and a member of the House of Burgesses. Jefferson was interested in the issues facing the colonies and was elected to the Continental Congress in 1775. In 1776, Congress chose him to write the Declaration of Independence. It took him 17 days to write. He sent it to Congress. They requested revisions. Then, finally, it was approved on July 4th, 1776, and sent to King George. Jefferson was a monumental man with a monumental flaw. He kept about 600 slaves, and he appeared to be conflicted about it. In recent years, archaeologists have been excavating slave quarters and finding out more about the story of slaves at Monticello. And this is a slave cabin at Monticello on Mulberry Road. Jefferson met Martha, his future wife, in 1770. He watched her from afar, but was too shy to talk to her. When he finally did talk to her, they realized that they were interested in the same things. They were married on New Year's Day, 1772. Their first child, Martha, was born in September of 1772. Mrs. Jefferson passed away in 1782. This was a very sad time for Jefferson. Mrs. Jefferson and Martha. Jefferson went to Paris in 1784 and stayed until 1789 to negotiate a trade treaty for France, for America. Ben Franklin and John Adams went with him as well. While he was there, he found new foods, like macaroni and cheese, ice cream, and French fries. He brought these foods and others back to America. Americans were not sure about French fries because they thought potatoes would shorten your life. Jefferson was able to convince them otherwise. This is a statue of him in France. After George Washington retired, both Jefferson and Adams ran for president. Adams won, and Jefferson, coming in second, became vice president. Adams and Jefferson had very different views on running a country. John Adams was a Federalist. He wanted most of the power to go to the president. Jefferson felt that the power should be spread throughout the president, Congress, and the people. This caused a long-standing argument between the two men. In 1801, Jefferson defeated Adams for the presidency. Adams left Washington, D.C. in the middle of the night. The two men didn't speak for years later. Now, in 1803, Jefferson purchased a large portion of land from France. It moved the western border of America to the Rocky Mountains. Jefferson sent an expedition of Army volunteers led by Lewis and Clark to explore the new territory and find a clear path through. This lasted from May 1804 to September 1806. This is Lewis and Clark. After 2 terms as president, Jefferson retired to Monticello. He was often visited by his only remaining child from his marriage, Martha. During this time, he and John Adams repaired their friendship and sent many long letters to each other. And this is Monticello. Jefferson never formally studied architecture, but he designed Monticello by reading books about it. He named it Monticello, which means little mountain in Italian, and Monticello is on a little mountain. He was always making changes in design and decoration. And this is Monticello from the back. I was able to visit Monticello myself, and these are some of my favorite parts of the inside of the room, or the inside of the house. The entry rooms held items brought back by Lewis and Clark, like tribal shields, antlers, and other specimens, which you can see right here. There was a specially made clock over the door, right here, but the clockmaker had messed up. He needed to make counterweights in the floor, which are here. Jefferson's bed was in the wall between the dressing room and his study. It was open on both sides so he could get up and get dressed, or get up and work in his study. The staircases were steep, narrow, and difficult to climb. Jefferson didn't want to waste space on large, elaborate stairs. The upstairs was mostly guest bedrooms. Monticello had many windows to let in lots of natural light. When we went to the basement, we saw the kitchen area. Thomas Jefferson had many high-tech gadgets for the time, like a stove with many burners and a macaroni machine. We then headed out to the garden. The gardens at Monticello were huge. The flower garden was located at the back of the house. The culinary garden was at the side of the house. Both gardens contained plants brought back by Lewis and Clark. A fish pond was by the garden so we could have fresh fish for dinner. In the culinary garden there was a pavilion where he could stand and look out on the mountains. Jefferson would often sit here in the evenings and read his books. And this, the plant markers had L&C on top for the plants that Lewis and Clark had brought back. Jefferson wrote, "I cannot live without books," in a letter to John Adams in 1815. How did he know this? Jefferson had sold 6,487 books to Congress, leaving very few books at Monticello. The British had invaded Washington, D.C. in the War of 1812. They had set fire to the White House and the Capitol building, which included the Congressional Library. Jefferson had sold these books to help restart the library. This is his library at Monticello. Jefferson died on July 4th, 1826, at the age of 83. John Adams died on the same day, at the age of 90. Adams' last words were, "Jefferson still survives." But he was wrong. Jefferson had died 5 hours earlier. Jefferson was deep in debt when he had passed away. Jefferson certainly was a monumental man. He did so many things in his lifetime, but all he asked to be written on his tombstone was, "Here was buried Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence, of the Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia." My works cited are A Personal Tour of Monticello by Robert Young, Thomas Jefferson, the Revolutionary Aristocrat by Milton Milzer, Thomas Jefferson by Maria Kaelman, The Worst of Friends by Suzanne Tripp German, Thomas Jefferson's Monticello official YouTube page. My photo credits are thomasjeffersonmonticello.org, google.com, naturalbridgeva.com, npr.com, and me and my mom. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Do you have a moment, like you remember when you became your favorite president?
Do I have a moment when I remember he became my favorite president? Yes, actually. I had like this first reading book, and it was about Thomas Jefferson and how he went to Paris and how he had brought back macaroni and cheese, and I loved macaroni and cheese as a child. So I think that's when I kind of became my favorite president.
besides mac and cheese, what do you like about Thomas Jefferson?
Besides mac and cheese, what do I like about Thomas Jefferson? Well, he invented a lot of really interesting things, and he was a very outdoor man, and I really like being outdoors.
Did you read much about his differences of opinion with Adams, what that was based on?
Did I read a lot about his conflict with Adams? Yeah, a little bit. I didn't get too much into that, but yeah, I think it's interesting how opinions can ruin friendships sometimes.